Last time I did an unboxing, setup and did first prints with the Creality Ender 3 V3 SE. But now it's time to print my own prints or your own prints. But how to set this printer up for a slicer? Well, in this video I'm going to do that with Orca Slicer. It's for me the main slicer that I want to use for all my 3D printers, or mainly all my printers. So let's dive right in. Hey, Zach here, and welcome to this video, and a happy making 2026. But you don't have that much filled prints for this year. And if it happens, well, you can move on or check out what happened. But let's talk about Orca Slicer. Orca Slicer is one of my most used slicer out there. For basically all of my 3D printers, I'm using Orca Slicer. This is for a reason. It's a very easy and simple slicer to use, and especially for beginners. There used to be a time that Orca Slicer was more harder to get installed on your PC or on your desktop computer, but nowadays it's very easy, it's very straightforward, and I will post the link where you can download this slicer for your 3D printer. The link will be in the description of this video. But let's add this 3D printer to Orca Slicer. So
if you are going to Google Orca Slicer, you'll find various results where you can get it. One of them is orcaslicer.com. This one is not the correct one. Go to the GitHub site. There you will click on this link, and there you have the official GitHub from Orca Slicer. When you scroll a little bit down, you will find the official links and community. One of them is Orca Slicer in one word. Open, and here you will see the official Orca Slicer website. And as mentioned here, official notice, orcaslicer.com is the only official Orca Slicer site. In my case, I'm using a Mac Mini, and I have installed the Mac Mini version. Now to get there, go to download now, and then you have various operating systems, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. We are going to focus on the Windows installer. So you click on Windows installer, and then you will get a download. If you are familiar with the Windows installation, follow the steps, click OK, select where you want to have it, and then follow along with the installation guide. Once that is done, you will be greeted by a setup guide for Orca Slicer, in which kind of region of this world you are living in, and then also selecting the printers. You don't have to do it there. You can also go and, follow along. So this is my main screen. We are going to click on prepare, and then we are going to add another printer. So we are going to click on the arrow pointing down, and then we have here all printed, or I have all printers here that I'm most of the time using. Now here we have two lines. Basically all the way on the bottom from the drop down menu, select or remove printers or printers. Now here we have a printer selection. You can scroll through the whole list. We can make it ourselves easy and check for Creality. Now here for the Creality, we are going to scroll and see if we can find the Creality Ender 3 V3 SE. We have here the V3, the normal standard one, but we need to have the V3 SE. The SE comes standard with a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. So we select that, and then we click on confirm. So once the printer is added to Orca Slicer, here it is, Creality Ender 3 V3 SE 0.4 millimeter nozzle. The bed type is a smooth high temp plate. I don't know if it is really a high template, but it is grayed out, so I cannot change anything on here. Then the next one is the filament. While adding your printer, it is also asking which filament you want to add to this printer. Well, it looks basically like this. I have multiple printers, and there are various printers in here that are also attached to certain filament types and different kind of vendors. I don't know, for some reason, I cannot always choose which kind of filament I want to select, because in this case, it is a Creality generic PLA. There are also normal generic PLAs. In my case, I have the Polymaker Polyterra gray filament loaded on my Creality 3D printer. So I will leave it as it is. It is a normal PLA type. It is looking amazing when using it. So let's go to the next one. So processes, it's standard on global. If you are going for objects, of course, because there's nothing on the build plate, it doesn't show anything. But if you would you will see it right underneath here. Now, if you are missing some prints or you don't see anything, you will see here outside, and then a model that, or a part of your multiple part print will be maybe outside of the build plate because it's basically too much on the build plate. It can happen. Now, going back to global, we have here also next to it advanced. If you click on it, then you have more things to choose from. But let's keep it simple, right? So we unselect this and we are going to look to the quality. The layer height for this profile, there are multiple profiles here, 0.12, 0.16, 0.20 and 0.24. This is the layer height, the layer thickness for each layer that's going to be printed. So keep that in mind if you are going to use these type of profiles. Now, as mentioned, it's a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. So that means every single line that is being printed with this 3D printer is 0.4 millimeters thick. Now, the layer height, like mentioned, is 0.2. That's why it is in the name. The seam, something that we don't need to talk about right now. If you hover with your mouse over it, every single thing that is standing here, if you hover long enough over it, you will get a little note what it is or what it does do. And since there's a line on it, if you click on it, you will be brought to the website and you will see exactly what it means. So going back to the Orca Slicer, then we have strength, means like if you are going to print something, it needs to be as strong as possible. I like to print some anime girls that have some thin legs. It happens with the best of us. So what happens, I have had that in the past, and for some reason I was removing the supports, and you know what happens? Hey, the ankles broke. I broke her ankles. That sounds like really bad, but it happened. That is because the legs were thin, and then the infill did cover everything, but not as much as was needed. So with walls, you are going to make the stronger so that it doesn't break when you are removing the supports from the model. So I always go for at least 3 walls in order to give it as much as possible strength. Then we have the top and bottom shells. In this case, it's standing on 4 layers, so meaning 4 times 0.2 makes 0.8 millimeter top shell thickness. The bottom shell layers is basically the same as the top layers, but then on the bottom. Infill. Infill for a model is important. Sometimes it's not really needed, but depends on what you are printing. In case of a Benchy, there's some infill because the next layers that are going to be closing off that section of the print is going to need some support. You can come away sometimes with bridging, but then you will see that the line might bend a little bit, and you sometimes don't want to have that. I leave it standard on 15. There are some models that you can print with only 5% infill. Now let's add a model. So let's go for the Z3DP Keychain STL. So this is it. It is a big model, but I can always do something special with it. Let's go for the support. Support in this model, it's not needed. When is support needed for a model? Here we have a threshold of 30 degrees. You can put it on 45 degree or 50 degree. It's something that you need to test out. And then we have the auto mode selection or the manual. Manual is something like you can choose then here with paint on supports. I always go for the 3 support, but in this case it's not needed. And then we have on build plate only. And then filament for supports. This is a single filament 3D printer. Then we have multi-material. This printer, like mentioned, doesn't have any multi-filament option, so this is not needed. And then we have others. You have a skirt brim. Those are for adhering to the bed. If your model has a very tiny surface on the build plate, can happen when printing that the model can pop off. You want to avoid that. We have selected the model. Here we have add plate. This is a printer that has only 1 build plate, and it can happen that if you are going to print a model with multiple parts, but only 1 part fits on the build plate, you might add a second build plate. Now the build plate is over here. So how to move around the build plate in Orca Slicer? Scrolling would be like this, using the scroll button. I have a magic mouse, so I'm going with my finger over the mouse and it will do that. I hope you didn't get any dizzy. Holding the left mouse button and, you know, going around your mouse pad or mouse mat, then you will get something like this. Left and right, up and down. And then we are going to do a little bit zooming so that we have this. Now it's not center. We take the right mouse button and we drag the mouse to the right side. You can also go up if you would like. Very simple and easy to do. Then we have here some buttons as well. I never touched this because I never really needed it. We have here arrange all objects. If you click on it, it will give you some selections to select from and then arrange. And then if this part wasn't already on in center, then it will happen like that. Then we have here some variable layer height. I didn't really need it. Then we have move. So if you click on this, you can move in the Y, X or Z direction. You clicking on one of the points and then hold it with your left mouse button and you can move it around. What I usually want to do is just mouse on the model, hold it, and then move it around like this. If you click the right mouse button, you will get here a lot of choices. What I like to do is just click here, center, and the part will be in the center of the build plate. Now we have here the rotate function, you know, one plane, second plane, third one, in each kind of direction. Not needed for now. We have here the scale function. This is 100%, but if I click on here and I say like 50, enter, it's for every single direction, it's 50% of the original. Then we have here lay flat on face. It's a kind of function. If you click on one of the sides that is covered, then it will flip in the right orientation. I can also print this standing upward if I would like to, just like that. It's one of the coolest features in this slicer. So once we have all done this, there's one thing to do, making sure that your SD card is popped into the desktop or in your computer or laptop, and then slice plate. Now, this was a quick one. Here on the right hand side, we have all the details of this model. Export G-code file. I click on it. Make sure to have your SD card loaded in your computer. In my case, it looks like this. No name. Z3DP keychain underscore PLA underscore 10 minutes and 39 seconds. If you make some changes, you know, then the print time can take a little bit longer. So if you're testing out, you will see directly which filament and what duration of this model would be. Keep that in mind if you are saving it. Then we click on save and then we are all set. On the right corner, you will see that the export was successfully, and you have the option to safely remove the SD card. So we will click on it and now we can take it out of the desktop, and now we are going to put it in the printer.
Let the print begin. Or no, let's start it up first. Print. And then we have here on the screen, we have the names of the models. And let's print the Banshee. Yeah, let's print the Banshee. Well, and after 1 hour and a few minutes, this Banshee is finished. It is looking nice with the standard profile in Orca Slicer. Hey, let me know in the comments, what are you going to print in Orca Slicer using the Creality Ender 3 V3 SE? If you made it this far in this video, you are amazing. Amazing thanks for these Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one. Peace, bye-bye.